Former Real Housewives of New Jersey homeowner Joe Giudice is pleading with President Donald Trump to grant him a pardon. After serving 41 months in prison for fraud related to bankruptcy, he was eventually compelled to depart the United States of America. For the time being, the father of four is residing and working in the Bahamas. I am curious as to what exactly he communicated to the president. Continue reading for further information. Joe Giudice has requested a pardon from President Trump. A total of 5 years have passed since Joe Giudice, a star of Real Housewives of New Jersey, was released from prison and sent back to Italy. The fact that his family had been fighting for him to remain in the United States was a scary experience for them. It was still the case that he was married to Teresa Giudice, who was residing in New Jersey and caring for their 4 children. Although she had served time for their fraud charges, it was for a period of time that was less than a year. Joe's wife and daughters came to Italy to visit him when he was assigned there. However, their visit was interrupted by a request for a divorce. It was obvious that his time spent in prison had generated a great deal of distance amongst everyone and had affected them all. In addition to the fact that Joe has begun his own business activities, his girls are now able to visit him whenever they want because he is now living in the Bahamas. He is very active in promoting them on social media, and he even participated in a brief merchandising drop. At this point, he is pleading with President Donald Trump to grant him a pardon because he is so eager to go back to the United States. Joe demonstrated the significance of his family to him by presenting a slideshow that included both old and fresh photographs. Afterwards, he went on to say that all he desired was to be able to travel and visit his girlfriends once more. In the final part of his statement, the former reality show star expressed his admiration and respect for the present president. Given that reality stars Todd and Julie Cresley were only recently awarded a pardon, it is not surprising that he would choose to proceed in this manner. Although the couple had been incarcerated for a total of 19 years, their daughter exerted a great deal of effort in order to release them from their sentence. Savannah Cresley and President Trump participated in a campaign together, and she continued to do so until Todd and Julie returned home. Does it have a chance? President Trump may grant a pardon to Joe Giudice, which is an option that is very much within the realm of possibilities. He was respectful of Savannah Cresley's family and was willing to listen to her pleadings on her situation with her parents. As a result, he ultimately granted them a pardon, and he could not wait to see them released within 24 hours. A difficult situation has arisen for the Rhonj family as a result of Joe's absence, and he is demonstrating his admiration for President Trump. It is possible that this may be a good sign for him, and many of his admirers have expressed their satisfaction with the prospect of him receiving a pardon. If he can pardon the Cresleys, he can pardon Josh. Joe has already made his payment. Kindly bring him back to his house. In this particular instance, I am willing to accept a pardon. His ex-wife and their daughters extended their support to him at this difficult time. Obviously, there were those people who believed that this was not possible and who questioned the reason that Joe did not become a citizen when he had the opportunity to do so. These are the kinds of questions that could be asked for days, but at this point, all Joe wants is the freedom to come and go whenever he wants. Is it possible that Joe may make a comeback? And if so, would this be a good idea for a spin-off of Real Housewives of New Jersey? For the Real Housewives of New Jersey star Joe Giudice, life has never been short of drama, both on and off camera. But now, in a stunning new twist, the former reality TV personality is reportedly making a desperate plea to none other than former President Donald Trump, asking for a presidential pardon that could allow him to finally return to the United States after years of exile in Italy. Once the boisterous husband of Teresa Giudice, Joe's life unraveled before millions of viewers when the couple faced multiple fraud charges that sent both to prison. Teresa served her sentence first, followed by Joe, who, after completing his time behind bars, was deported to Italy due to his lack of U.S. citizenship. It's been a painful saga filled with heartbreak, regret, and a fight for redemption. And now, Joe seems to believe Trump could be the only one who can make things right. According to insiders close to the Giudice family, Joe recently wrote an emotional open letter to Donald Trump, describing his struggles since being deported and how desperately he longs to be reunited with his 4 daughters, Gia, Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana. President Trump, I'm asking from my heart. Please let me come home, Joe reportedly wrote. I've made my mistakes, but I've paid my dues. My girls need their father, and I just want a chance to be the dad they deserve. The heartfelt request comes amid growing whispers that Trump has considered issuing high-profile pardons to public figures who, like Joe, claim they were treated unfairly by the system. Joe's legal team is said to be preparing a formal petition, hoping to make a direct appeal through Trump's post-presidential channels. A family torn apart since his deportation in 2019, Joe Giudice's life has been defined by distance. His daughters have visited him in Italy a few times, and he's managed to video chat with them daily, but nothing replaces being physically present. Teresa, now remarried to Luz Rulas, has also acknowledged how painful it was to watch her girls grow up without their father. Joe made mistakes, but he's still their dad, Teresa said in a past Watch What Happens live interview. I know how much it hurts him not to be here. Whatever happens, I'll always want him to have a relationship with our girls. Joe has openly admitted that the time apart has been agonizing. Every birthday, every graduation I've missed, it's like a piece of me is gone, he said during a recent podcast appearance. I take responsibility for what happened, but I've done my time. I just want to come home. Turning to Trump. A last hope for Joe. Reaching out to Trump isn't random. During Trump's presidency, the reality star publicly praised the former commander-in-chief for his bold personality and tell-it-like-it-is attitude, traits Joe has long shared. Sources close to him claim he sees Trump as someone who understands second chances and the importance of family. He respects Trump, an insider shared. He thinks Trump's the kind of man who believes in redemption and loyalty, and that maybe, just maybe, he'll see that Joe has been through enough. The plea is also deeply strategic. Trump has issued celebrity pardons before, including to Real Housewives of Atlanta's friend of the show Angela Stanton, who was pardoned for a federal conspiracy charge. Joe's supporters argue that his situation deserves the same consideration. Joe's not a danger to society, the insider continued. He's a family man who wants to rebuild his life and contribute positively. He's not asking for fame, he's asking for forgiveness. Life in exile. Since moving to Italy, Joe has attempted to make the best of his situation. He started working in construction and promoting fitness and lifestyle projects on social media. He's also reconnected with his extended family and traveled across Europe, often sharing photos of his new life with fans. But beneath the glossy Instagram posts lies a deep loneliness. He puts on a brave face, one family friend revealed, but it's not easy. He misses his girls every single day. When he sees Teresa with Luz and his daughters with their friends, it hurts. He feels forgotten. Joe has spoken candidly about how different life is outside of America. Italy is beautiful, but it's not home, he once confessed. Home is where my kids are. A divided reaction from fans' news of Joe's plea has sent shockwaves through the Real Housewives fanbase, sparking a heated debate online. Some fans believe he deserves another shot, while others argue his deportation was a fair outcome. Joe's paid his price. Let him come home already. One fan wrote on X, formerly Twitter. His girls have grown up without their dad. Enough is enough, but not everyone agrees. He committed fraud and broke the law, another viewer countered. Actions have consequences. Why should he get a pass just because he was on TV? Still, Others see a broader message in Joe's appeal. This isn't just about fame, it's about forgiveness, a longtime RHONJ fan noted. If Trump believes in redemption stories, this could be one of the biggest. Teresa's response: torn but supportive. While Teresa and Joe have gone their separate ways romantically, sources say she's quietly rooting for his return, if only for the sake of their daughters. She's moved on, but she knows what this means for the girls, a close friend shared. Teresa's heart will always have space for Joe as the father of her kids. She wants them to be happy, and if that means Joe gets a second chance, she's all for it. Teresa herself hasn't publicly commented on the pardon plea yet, but she has always emphasized the importance of family unity. "No matter what, we're still family," she once said. "That'll never change." A chance for redemption, whether or not Trump will respond remains uncertain, but for Joe, the act of asking is a symbol of hope. It's a final attempt to rewrite his story, from fallen reality star to redeemed father. "I'm not perfect," Joe reportedly said in his letter, "but I've learned, I've changed. I want to make things right, not for me, but for my daughters. They deserve to have their dad back." If the pardon were granted, Joe would be allowed to legally re-enter the United States, marking one of the most dramatic comebacks in Real Housewives history. Imagine the cameras rolling as he steps off a plane in New Jersey, a reunion years in the making, tears streaming, and family finally whole again. The final word: Joe Giudice's journey has been one of rise, fall, and relentless hope. From the opulent chaos of the Real Housewives of New Jersey to the quiet solitude of Italian exile, he's lived through public humiliation and private heartbreak. But now, his story may be entering its most unexpected chapter, one that depends not on Bravo producers or courtroom judges, but on a man he's never met face to face, Donald J. Trump. Whether the former president will hear Joe's plea remains to be seen. But for Joe Giudice, this is about more than fame or even freedom. It's about forgiveness, family, and the belief that even after your biggest mistakes, there's still a way home.